Hello, everyone. Welcome to Bow and Arrow Tarot. Today, we're going to get right into the Aquarius Love Tarot reading for the next few weeks. So let's just jump right into it. We have a 10 of Cups for you. Your person is coming in with a Hermit card. How do you feel about them? We have a 6 of Cups, and they feel Empress energy for you. How do you feel about the relationship? Uh-oh. 8 of Cups are walking away, and a 3 of Swords for them. Oof. And the next step, 2 of Cups and a 5 of Pentacles. At the bottom of this deck for this reading, Aquarius, you have a 7 of Wands. So a feeling that you are having to sort of fight for your position, fight for your stance, fight for what you believe in, right? Mars and Leo energy. 7 of Wands is the feeling of being kind of all out there on your own, not having any support, right? And I look ahead, I see some challenge here. So let's just jump right into your energy and your person's energy. 10 of Cups and Hermit. Interesting. While your person is retreating, you are looking at longevity and happiness. Is this happiness with this individual? I'm not entirely sure that it is, right? As I look ahead, 10 of Cups energy just suggests that right now everything is slotted into place for you, Aquarius. Everything is working out emotionally with your relationships, but your person, Hermit energy, there's solitude, there's a retreat, there is a stepping back from this connection, or certainly stepping back from life in general. They're staying to themselves, right? So let's go ahead and pull out some clarifiers and see what's going on here. As I look ahead at the other positions, there's definitely challenge here. Aquarius, you come in with a Page of Wands. Yeah, you've kind of struck out on your own, and your person, 5 of Swords. Yep. So for you, Aquarius, there's a feeling that you have really sort of reclaimed your power. Page of Wands energy just indicates that there is a strength here for you. It almost feels to me as though you have decided that enough, well, I won't even say enough is enough as I look ahead, but you have decided that what's important is your goals, your objectives. And if the whole world doesn't understand you, it's interesting that you have the 7 of Wands. It doesn't matter if they don't understand you. It doesn't matter if they don't get you. You're perfectly fine to do things on your own terms, to fight for what you believe in, and to follow your own path. And so in love, there seems to be a courage here, a bravery here, right? Of deciding to put yourself first and to walk your path, right? Your person coming in with that 5 of Swords, there's discord, right? Discord, distrust, aggravation. This is someone who is retreating from a battle, it almost seems, right? 5 of Swords energy is the card for defeat. And it's interesting that, as I opened up the reading with the 7 of Wands here for you, Aquarius, it does feel like you have been in a battle on your own, fighting for your own sort of position, and yet this person is pulling back from a split, right? Pulling back from a situation that has a lot of discord, a lot of strife involved. Something was not going on here that was good for you. Now you're happy, right? 10 of Cups energy, you are following your path and happiness is coming in. How do you feel about each other? Well, you've known this person a long time, 6 of Cups. Empress for them. You've known them for a long time. I think there's a lot of history here. You may have been friends. You may have had a long-term relationship or an on-again, off-again relationship. There is a connection here. There is affection here. And yet, nevertheless, we have this energy that you both come in with. Your person, how do they feel about you? Well, I think that they see you as having been someone that really nurtured them, protected them, supported them. You may have been the dominant one in this relationship, Aquarius, right? I almost see mommy issues here. Because Empress energy is the divine feminine, and they've seen you as that divine feminine. You see them as, that affection is there, but it almost feels to me as though you've had a relationship with somebody who's just been depending on you and at the same time fighting you, right? They need you. Empress energy, they see you as that grounded, feminine, strong, nurturing energy, and yet there hasn't been much support for you, right? So it's almost as if this connection has turned into sort of a parental type of dynamic, which is not, that's not sexy in any relationship. So let's move further. You're happy. Let me put it to you like this. Oh, what flipped over? Three of Wands. Yeah, looking forward. You're ready to make that move to move ahead with your life. You're looking for signs. You're looking for the next step, right? You're wide open. What flipped over for them? Sun energy. Things have kind of interesting, sun energy coming in for them in terms of how they feel about you. There may have been a revelation. There may have been some information that has come out, some truth that has come out. In terms of how you feel about them, that Three of Wands, it almost feels as though you kind of have this energy of like, look, it's time for you to go do your thing. And I'll always look out for you, right? I'll always sort of be there for you to a degree, right? As a friend, because again, there's a lot of history here. But it's time for you to go out into the world and find your own path separate from me. I can't enable you. There's a feeling here that you may have been enabling them. Certainly you've decided not to anymore. For them, again, as I say, with that sun energy, it feels as though something has really been revealed, Let's move ahead. How do you guys see the relationship? And this is where we get the shadow. It's time for you to leave. You've decided enough is enough. And this is what I was going to say in the beginning of the reading as I looked ahead to this card. You realize that you're not getting anything out of this relationship anymore. You realize that you've done as much as you can do. I don't feel like there's hard feelings necessarily here on your part. It's just you have found that it's time to put yourself first. It's time to ascend and have deeper, more quality relationships, and it's just time for you to kind of be like, look, I think I'm going to go up over here. It's time for me to move on. They have betrayal. They see this relationship as a betrayal, a deception. And you know what? It feels very childish. That Three of Swords is definitely a heartache, right? They're hurt to their heart, but they're hurt. I'm feeling here they're hurt because of a sense of entitlement almost, right? They want you to continue to stay. They feel alone without you, Hermit energy. They look at you as this mother figure who's been there to help them out. And you turning away and moving away, you putting yourself first, almost seems like a betrayal to them. Almost seems like, how dare you, turn your back on me. But we're talking about two grown people. We're talking about a relationship here, a connection. And you're not responsible for other grown people, whether you're in a love relationship or not. This person has a lot of growing up to do. It might be good for them to have some of that isolated energy, to be on their own, right? They fought you every way along the way. So even when you were there providing for them, nurturing them, supporting them, they didn't take in from that. When you give to somebody, you're in a relationship, you provide that. There's nothing wrong with providing support and guidance and nurturing to someone that you love, but they're supposed to take that energy and do something with it. Instead, it feels here like this person has only ever been battling you. They've never taken that assist and done something with it. And now that you've decided to take away that assist, they feel very hurt and very betrayed, right? Let's go ahead and pull some more clarity here. Yeah, this feels like very much a case of, you deciding that you're going to be putting yourself first, right? You deciding that, yeah, I think it's best that we part ways. This is definitely a split. right? And yet, as I say, no hard feelings. They, because of their immaturity, because of the emotional immaturity, they're going to have to deal with this and kind of, do their own soul searching. Queen of Wands is there. Wow. And a Knight of Swords. Yeah, in terms of this relationship with that Queen of Wands energy, Aquarius, you're definitely have a bit more experience here. It seems to me like, you're coming in as a queen, there a knight. You have sorry for my cat in the background. You have that queen's experience, that strength, that determination, that wisdom. It's the wisdom that is allowing you to make this decision right now. You just know that this is the best thing for you to do. This is the better thing for you to do, which is to move on and to put yourself first. The queen is sure of her decisions, right? And she's a wise counsel. And right now you're being a wise counsel to yourself. Your person coming in with that Knight of Swords. Yeah. They're fighting it. They feel betrayed. And at the same time, they're fighting anyone who's coming near them. To a certain degree, it almost feels like they're fighting anybody who's helping them. It's like they're cutting off their nose to spite their face. This individual has to grow up. They just have to grow up. They're going to have to face some of their turmoil and their troubles on their own without this assistance from you. And I think that that wisdom is coming through with that queen. That this is what they need. It's very much a parent-child sort of scenario, feels like here. Now, what is the final outcome or the next step for you guys? Well, Two of Cups and Five of Pentacles. Honestly, you move on to better connections. You move on to, Two of Cups energy is a pact. It's love. It's being connected with others. I think that you have somebody else who's coming into your life that is providing more of a equal footing. For some of you, you may indeed be leaving this person for someone else, but that's almost not the point. Whether there was somebody else or not, whether this Two of Cups is with somebody else or simply a conversation you're having with yourself in terms of making sure that you love yourself, that's the most important. It's almost incidental whether you're leaving for somebody else or for yourself. In any case, you're realizing that it's time to leave. For them, Five of Pentacles, they're going to have to, let me change that. It's not so much that they have to, but they will be experiencing a physical poverty from this. There is going to be a sense of loss here. Five of Pentacles really indicates that, the circle has been broken. This person is going to be feeling very much ousted, ostracized, left on their own. And that might be exactly what they need to a certain degree. You're dealing with somebody. Let's pull this all down for more cards. You're dealing with somebody who for a very long time has just depended on you. And as I said, they haven't done anything with it. And so now they're going to have to do it on their own. And it's good for them. Ultimately, there's a wisdom here, Aquarius, that you're showing. Again, you're definitely displaying a much wiser, a much more emotionally mature attitude here. Yeah. And again, there's no hard feelings on your part. It's interesting. It's not as though this person has done anything horrible to you per se. It's just that you're realizing your energy is wasted on this individual, right? And it's not a two-way street. You don't want to be with someone that you have to take care of. You don't want to be with someone that you have to act as a mother to, right? And so, yeah, it's not so much that you're mad at them. Spirit of the Cross. Interesting. Burden, hardship, lessons learned. What else do we have? Spirit of the Pumpkin and Spirit of the Snowflake. Yeah, this is why you're leaving without any resentment, because you understand that this person has lessons to learn. Spirit of the Cross, burdens. You're unburdening yourself. There are lessons to be learned here for them and for you. But mostly it's just a feeling of being like, look, enough is enough. This relationship has turned into a burden. If it wasn't that way in the beginning, it certainly has become that way. And you realizing that, you're waking up to that. Spirit of the Pumpkin. Spirit of the Pumpkin talks about a harvest in autumn. Yeah, sometimes you reap what you sow, right? And the harvest is coming in. And that's not doesn't always mean the harvest is great. You reap what you sow. And I think that this is kind of the scenario here, right? You're realizing, and more than anything, this person, I think, will be realizing that, if you don't put your own energy and if you don't use the love and support that you get from others as a stepping stone to increase and better yourself, then your harvest will be very meager. Spirit of the snowflake. Special, one of a kind, irreplaceable. I think this really speaks to a couple of things here. First of all, your recognition that you are special, one of a kind, and irreplaceable and deserve more. But also, it speaks to this connection. This person is definitely someone you will maintain, I think, a connection with. The history here is just too long. The memory here is just too long. But that is not to say that the two of you will be together, right? There's a shift happening in this connection. There's a change coming in. Let me pull out some animal spirits for you guys today. I won't be doing an extended. I'll just be doing a little bit of a deeper read here. Yeah, I don't see this friendship breaking up, right? Because again, you don't have, it's not like both of you are leaving each other with hard feelings. You're leaving, I think you're making the choice to leave for yourself and for them. You're very much, you've become almost the role of the parent in this relationship. And the way that you're handling this breakup is almost like a parent, right? As well. You're doing the best thing for yourself. You're doing the best thing for this person who's in effect become a bit of a child. And they're going to be kicking and screaming and angry about it and fighting along the way, Knight of Swords, and arguing about it. But at the end of the day, they're going to be with themselves, faced with themselves, and having to pick themselves up. We have Spirit of the Dolphin and Spirit of the Stingray. Excellent. The dolphin, both emotional animal spirits, water spirits. The dolphin is all about healing, intuition. The dolphin is the greatest healer. The dolphin is the animal spirit that knows exactly what is needed to heal any situation. Extremely intelligent, right? Gifted in emotional connections. And I think that you're displaying that energy, as well as Stingray coming in. More water energy, but the stingray is all about that emotional backbone, that spine that says, look, my feelings matter, and they're valid, and I don't need anybody else to validate them. And it's time that I, be my own sort of support system. It's time that I stand up for what matters to me. It's time that I stand up for my feelings and how I feel, instead of putting them on the back burner to make sure that everybody else's feelings are catered for. So let's go ahead and wrap the reading up. I always do this with a zodiac pull. So we're going to pull Taurus. Some of you are dealing with the Taurus. Pull two more zodiac runes to see what kind of zodiac sign you might be dealing with. Some of you are dealing with a Pisces. Or they have that in their chart, sun, moon, rising, Venus, or Mars. And some of you are dealing with another Aquarius. So Taurus, Pisces, Aquarius energy. Very interesting. I hope you got something out of this reading, folks. This is Bow and Arrow Tarot. This is the Love Tarot reading for Aquarius. These are timeless messages, but the timeline here is usually over the next couple of weeks to a month. All right. So if you enjoyed the reading, please go ahead and give it a like or leave a comment. Let us know if you're going through this kind of relationship dynamic. If you want to get a private reading, go ahead and follow the information below. But for right now, I'm just going to say thank you so much for joining me. This has been Bow and Arrow Tarot. I wish you all love, life, and happiness. And I hope to see you right back here on my channel for your next love reading. Bye-bye now.